Wake up! Hey nerd, wake up!
Give me 5 more minutes.
Come on, you gotta make a ModCon video.
Oh, why bother? People complained that last year's video was too much and that it was overly complicated and confusing.
That was one guy. Don't let it get to you. And you know, you could always just show us something simpler.
Or if that's not motivation enough, you could do what you do best. Something impressively pointless?
Impressively pointless yet simple. I think I might have just the idea. In the Way of Kings, many faiths demand consent for marriage. This just means that you need a positive relationship like friend, lover or soulmate, or you'll be rejected. I suggest you go for the romance option, assuming you're compatible. I can see that Navan is a poet, so in order to improve my chances I'm going to write a book of love poetry. What's important here is to follow your heart, and don't get too bogged down in the technical details. It'll be fine, trust your instincts. Now that we're happily married, we're pretty close to claiming Devotion and Dominion's victory. We just need to make sure we're a king-tier vassal of our spouse, and maintain control and popular opinion throughout our realm. Oh, and we need to be best friends with our spouse, but that should come naturally thanks to our shared love of poetry. Now that we have achieved Devotion and Dominion's victory, we can finally get started. Since we are now in Elantrian, we have access to Aeon Door, the magical programming language. This is coded by drawing pairs of glyphs as key value pairs, which on a high level is similar to how CK3's own scripting language works, but on a low level has each pixel corresponding to a binary digit. We can use this programming language to write an artificial intelligence. Since we're probably going to outlive our spouse, we're going to need someone to keep us company in our old age. For example, we could use an AI to play board games against, such as chess or Dungeons & Dragons. Luckily for us, Aeon Door is Turing complete, so we are free to make our own artificial intelligence with as much complexity as we wish. If you do your job well, there is a risk that our artificial intelligence will be so compelling that you leave your spouse in order to date your newfangled creation. However, if you do that, then you're on a highway to... Not to worry, there's still a way to recover from this. Though we're already at step 8, this is commonly considered the first step to getting better. The exact step number isn't important, as the most important step you can take is always the next one. At this point, you should be getting pretty close to a stress break, which hopefully will let you bond your very own spren who can help you by weaponizing your mental health.
The restoration of the Oath Pact is a goal for those who are dedicated to playing as the Knights Radiant, which is probably the reason most people want to play this mod. For those who don't know, the TLDR is that the Knights Radiant is an organization of mentally ill, glow-in-the-dark people who have weaponized therapy, and you too can become one by having a stress break and bonding your very own therapy fairy called a Spren. As a Knight Radiant, you progress in power by managing your mental health, that is to say, your stress, and living up to the ideals of your order. Basically every order has its own code of chivalry. There are 10 orders of Knight Radiant, each with its own spren types and 5 levels based on which oaths you've sworn as a knight. You can get started working towards the Oath Pact already in the second cultural era. A culture head who is Radiant will be offered the Radiant Innovation associated to their order. These provide a varied set of bonuses, from simple stat buffs to men-at-arms regiments and alternative ways to manage your stress. Once a culture has unlocked all 10 Radiant Innovations, an 11th innovation is unlocked. Luminocracy, the rule of Radiance. Note that since the 10 orders are mutually exclusive, there is a soft limit of 10 generations to be able to achieve this for your culture. Out of all the custom governments in the Way of Kings, the Luminocracy government type is definitely the one you're going to want to strive towards as a Radiant. Firstly, it grants a bunch of game-changing bonuses, and a few penalties to change things up, and greatly improves your chances of becoming Radiant in the first place. It also unlocks the Radiant Council, a bunch of important decisions, and the Radiance Dynasty Legacy, which unlocks even more powerful decisions, such as the decision to revive a dead Shardblade. Final of these unlocks the Restore Oath Pact decision, which has very high requirements. You can reduce these requirements to a more manageable level by hunting down and eliminating the Unmade. Each Unmade you manage to capture or eliminate reduces the requirements by 1. In other words, you still need to get your hands on some high-level Radiant Counselors, but not as many as you'd normally need. At the time of recording, there are 3 Unmade who have been fully implemented. Nurgaul, the Thrill, who drives the region to war, Ashertmarn, the Heart of the Revel, who drives people to incessant feasting and indulging in carnal pleasures, and Yelignar, the Blightwind, who seduces the ambitious with promises of great power before consuming them. In each case, the way to defeat them is to embrace them when they're offered to you, then overcoming the special challenges that come with each case. There's one more Unmade in the works, Reshafir, the Midnight Mother. However, she works a bit differently than the previous 3, so she needed some special mechanics. She's not really an enemy that can be fought with armies, but a small group of powerful Radiants could potentially handle her. So, let me just launch the Dungeon Delve minigame. And this is how you'll be resolving small-scale combats when delving deep underground in order to find and capture the Midnight Mother. Thus far, about half the skills are implemented, and the exact meta mechanics aren't set in stone yet, but you can expect either something like the D&D style combat grid, or a Dark Dungeon style slot-based combat system. You'll basically be delving into the catacombs of Urithiru using event chains, and then the actual fights will be resolved using this minigame. At any rate, when you've managed to capture enough Unmade that you've managed to restore the Oath Pact, the Singers will permanently be unable to summon Desolations and the Everstorm, and any remaining Unmade will be eliminated. You and any of your Radiant Counselors who are participating in the ritual will also become Heralds.
Till now, the Way of Kings was always the mod that had all of the advanced tech and complex emergent systems, but it lacked in the graphics department. That's about to change, as I finally got my hands on some 3D artists.
This is the work-in-progress shard plates by Tsualu, or Tsualu, who also works on all kinds of other mods, and Singerblade shapes by AJ from the Elder Kings 2 team. I don't know what is up with the 3D artists having acronym names either, but I've learned not to question genius. These will go great with the shard plates models and custom animations already in the mod. Thank you for your time, and remember, I will provide mod support for those who cannot support themselves.
There once was a tribe called the Parshendi. The tribe was found by the Alethi. Then they sent out the assassin in white who struck King Gavilar down. Soon may the Everstorm come. We'll get out from under the humans' thumb. One day when the humans are gone, we'll take what's ours and go. Because they wanted to even the score, the Alethi up and went to war. They all came out to the shattered plains where those high storms blow. Soon may the Everstorm come, we'll get out from under the humans' thumb. One day when the humans are gone, we'll take what's ours and go. A Josh brand newly on his face, a slave was brought to that awful place. With a strange wind spren right at his back, he got put into Bridge 4. Soon may the Everstorm come, we'll get out from under the humans' thumb. One day when the humans are gone, we'll take what's ours and go.